Yes, welcome everybody. If you will please stand for the procession of graduates. Graduates, welcome. I'm assistant professor in the Department of Focused Inquiry. I'll be your MC for this event. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that VCU rests on the ancestral lands of the Powhatan and recognize Virginia's indigenous peoples and tribes, the Nottoway, Chickahominy, East Chickahominy, Mattaponi, Monacan, Nansemond, Pamunkey, Potawatomi, Upper Mattaponi, and the Rappahannock tribes. At this time, I would like to welcome Dr. Kadeba, Director of the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs, to the stage. Please welcome Dr. Kadeba.
I'm sorry. Much appreciated. You know what? You just witnessed a very vulnerable moment. So thank you for your grace and patience. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here and welcome to the inaugural Asian Pacific Islander Desi American graduation ceremony. It is a huge deal that we are here. This is, as I mentioned earlier, the inaugural ceremony, and it has not taken place here at VCU before. So it's worth naming, and I am so grateful for all the efforts that have been put into place for this ceremony to take place. I have spent the entire 10 days welcoming and greeting family members, friends, campus partners, and today, I get to do that for the family and friends and loved ones and campus partners that are here. I am originally from Côte d'Ivoire, West Africa, and for us, the way that we greet people is by saying Akwaba. So first, I want to say Akwaba to all the campus partners that are present in this space. We're talking staff, faculty, and everyone that has put in so much work for this ceremony to take place. Akwaba, and thank you for being here. Additionally, I wanted to say Akwaba to the OMSA team, for which their work, effort, and really commitment to serving our students remains something that is unprecedented, and I am grateful to work alongside with you every day. Thank you. I want to say a massive, amazing, giant Akwaba to family, friends, and loved ones, because I know that it's your efforts and sacrifices that have helped and supported our students for them to be here. So really, a big shout out and Akwaba to family and friends and loved ones. Lastly, but certainly not least, Akwaba to our spring 2022 APITA graduates. Y'all, you made it. You did it. We're so proud, and I feel extremely humbled to welcome you today and to be able to celebrate with you your amazing accomplishment. We know that it was a path that most certainly was not easy. There are hurdles all along the way, and I just feel, again, really humbled and honored to see you here. We're so proud of you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Congratulations. Let me grab all my papers.
Next, I would like to welcome a student speaker, Ro Gafori. Ro is class of 22 and a bachelor in psychology. Ro, please join us.
All right, thank you. Hello to all the familiar and non-familiar faces. And hello to all those streaming this live on video. To all the kings, queens, and everyone in between. This concordance of spoken words connects us all as APIDA graduates and our respective parties of loved ones. Today, the sun shines even brighter. Against all odds, unity creates freedom. To care with the deepest love, and to not speak with the softest tongue. Or speak with the softest tongue. Most are welcome here with borrowed academic hours. In this telephone game of miscommunication, how much is the net worth when this isolation breeds black days? The few choices left are cessation or succession in this non-binary blue world filled with gray area. Every chapter of our lives is indelible, and every path requires a village of support. Regardless of the circumstances, gratitude remains the greatest grounding tool, while perspective paints a perfect picture in this illustrious world that is ours to make better. We are gathered here today physically and virtually with the spirits of those both lost and found. Rest and power to all those who helped us. Empower ourselves to become graduates from VCU today. While the world throws obstacles and creates uncertainty, moving forward, we all have the power to become the future leaders of this bittersweet world with war and peace. And I wanted to say a special rest and power to my cat, Winona, that deceased about 2 years ago, and to my roommate, Alex, his dog, Mo, that passed a few days ago. And this collection of spoken words is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Ro. Next, I'd like to invite to the stage student performance by AAPI. They will be performing 2 songs, Kum and Ambarasia. You can see a description in the insert in your program. Please welcome AAPI.
இரவும் விடியவில்லையே அது விடிந்தால் பகலும் முடியவில்லையே இது எதுவோ
गली में मारे फेरे पास आने को मेरे गली में मारे फेरे पास आने को मेरे कभी फरकता नहीं न मेरे तू कभी फरकता तो कभी फरकता नहीं न मेरे तू कभी फरकता तो रमर सरिया उन्हें आवे कचिया करिया ना तो रमर सरिया उन्हें आवे कचिया करिया ना तो तेरे माने बोले है मुझे तीगे से वो तेरे माने बोले है मुझे तीगे से वो अमर सरिया अमर सरिया अमर सरिया
Thank you so much, Haravi. That was great. Our keynote speaker today is Emma Ito. Emma Ito is the Director of Education at Virginia Humanities, the State Humanities Council, where she is responsible for the development, coordination, and implementation of educational resources for teachers, students, and lifelong learners. Prior to working at Virginia Humanities, Emma worked at the Library of Virginia, the State Library and Archives, where she spearheaded an initiative to research AAPI history in the library's collections and engaged with community members both across the state and nationally to highlight AAPI experiences through programming and outreach. Emma has also been a professor in the Virginia Commonwealth University Global Education Department and received her BA and MA in history at VCU, where her master's thesis was on the experiences of Japanese immigrants and Japanese Americans in Virginia, with a focus on the time periods of Jim Crow and World War II. In her free time, Emma is an avid reader, bookstagrammer, and content creator for Feminist Book Club. Please welcome Emma to the stage.
You guys did it! Like, I have to, start with that. You guys did it. And it is really hard to follow you guys, so, seriously, another amazing applause for you guys. So it is such an honor to be here with you guys today. Thank you to friends and family and faculty and all the Fs that we can think of, especially the many Fs we probably screamed in frustration to get to this point. So thank you guys. So as someone who studied a lot of history, I'm sorry, I have to do a tiny mini history lesson. You thought you got away with graduating without a last history lesson. But I often think a lot about the people that came here before us. What was their life like here? What shaped who they were as a person? What was it like for Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, Native Hawaiians, South Asians, all Asian immigrants of the diaspora? What was it like to be a student in Virginia before us? What did they have to endure? Who built the foundations for us to be in here, in this room, right now? As Jeff Chang, author and music critic, writes in Rise, a pop history of Asian America from the 90s to now, he says, where do we begin? Or rather, when did we begin? If you go by the history books, Asians have been in America since the 19th century, when Chinese immigrants toiled to build the infrastructure of America's manifest destiny and fed the hungry bellies of gold-struck prospectors, and after hours took a turn at panning the glittering streams of California themselves. If you go by the records that never seem to make it in the textbooks, Asians have been in America since Filipino slaves jumped ship from Spanish galleons in Louisiana in the 1760s, where they built secret villages in the swamplands, hid from their kidnappers, fished to survive, and eventually were recruited to defend a young America from a new British invasion in 1812. But our history actually stretches in Virginia, too. There's an apprenticeship indenture of a young Chinese boy and 2 young boys from India in Virginia's records as early as 1860. Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders fought in the Civil War. 15-year-old immigrant from Hong Kong, Ah Yi Wei, for example, was captured and paraded through Petersburg to Richmond, briefly interned at Belle Isle. Not far from where we sit now, there was a Chinese community in Richmond in the early 1900s, when Richmonders had to prove they were American-born, in a time where many Asian immigrants were prevented from becoming citizens in this country. There were students just like you guys at schools like Randolph-Macon, like Japanese immigrant Sangi Ogawa, who was at Randolph-Macon in 1905 and paid for his tuition by himself by selling Bibles in parts of West Virginia and Maryland, chopping wood and working as a janitor. For so long, it sometimes feels like our stories have been left out, that we are invisible until we aren't. Japanese immigrants, for example, were taken from Norfolk, Virginia to the incarceration camps during World War II. There was a court case here in Virginia called 9v9 that said an Asian American man couldn't marry a white woman in 1955, until 9/11, until COVID-19, until Atlanta. Our history isn't always a happy story, but this to me shows the history of Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, Native Hawaiians, South Asians, all Asian immigrants of the diaspora. We have endured so much trauma and hardship, but we are never silent players. We are here today because of the people who came before us. Our stories are so powerful and intertwined with the very being of this country and of this state. We have long been making an impact, and you all continue that story. You are a piece of history, and you all share our stories, not just the trauma and the hardships, but the joy found within. You are literally making history today as the graduates of VCU's first API-DA achievement ceremony. As activist Yuri Kochiyama has said, life is not what you alone make it. Life is the input of everyone who touched your life and every experience that entered it. We are all a part of one another. You all, in your existence of VCU graduates, not only show this, but you show the world this. You show how completely and totally complex our communities are, how diverse we are, how we are not a monolith. We are so many things. I look at you all and feel so much hope and excitement for the future, for you all just to live in the world, no matter what you decide to do. I think about how maybe your experiences, like mine, were shaped by being an Asian American at VCU, by being an Asian American in Virginia, by being an Asian American in the South. That's honestly just an experience that hits different, especially depending on the company you have and when the word y'all might come out of our mouths. So I really am amazed by you all, and it's been a pretty wild past couple of years. Graduation is something you all should always be proud of, but I think you should be especially proud of what you have gotten through the past couple of very difficult years. A time where you had to take classes online, where a pandemic has killed so many loved ones, when we have seen our communities attacked both physically and emotionally. We've gotten to this point where trauma and intergenerational trauma can weave into so many of our stories through so many different ways. And amongst all of this, I know that you have found joy. I know that you have found joy in your time at college, and you deserve joy. You deserve celebration, and you deserve more than just today. One of the first Japanese words I ever learned was gaman, which means enduring the seemingly unbearable with patience and dignity. While we've certainly had to persevere, one thing I've learned over the years is that it's okay to be angry and loud. It's okay to not just be quietly frustrated with the world we live in. I've learned to channel these feelings into trying to make even if it's just a small change. We always hear the phrase, be the change you want to see in the world. And honestly, I think we hear it so much that it kind of loses its meaning. It's something I just kept hearing after I graduated, and I just kept thinking, well, someone else will do those changes. But the thing I've learned is that we actually have to be the ones to make that change. Even when it's scary and it seems like a job for somebody else, sometimes you really have to be the person to change something you don't like. And it's really tough, I'm not gonna lie. But you do not have to do it alone. We are part of this community, and we can lean on one another. There's another great quote by Jeff Chang where he says, building community goes beyond centering the self. It's about imagining what it takes to revere justice, to respect difference, to reduce hurt, to correct wrong, to nurture growth, and to discover joy. It is about activating and propagating these values within a conception of we that continually expands and is always concerned with caring for the least of us first. We don't live in a vacuum. I think these past years have shown how important community and solidarity with one another can be, how healing it can be, how joyous it can be, how a community can envision a beautiful future. These are all things that you do now and that you continue to do, even by sitting today together in community with one another. A few reminders. Life after graduation isn't always a fairy tale, and I feel like you guys probably already know this. After I graduated from VCU with my undergrad, I had no idea what my next steps were, and I worked in a bookstore for 2 years. It isn't always about finding the perfect dream job, although bookstore was pretty good, especially not right away, but everyone has their own timeline. You will fail sometimes. We don't learn everything in school, and we know the world's a messy place, but those failures make you stronger, and sometimes they turn into successes. You make new dreams, which is usually even better than what you had initially imagined. Focus on your passions, but know that those passions may transform and evolve. You will transform and evolve. And as important as it is to live and plan for the future, you also have to plan for now. Know your value. Challenge narratives. Ask questions and push where you want to see change. Take chances and follow your gut. Be true to yourself. Don't ever feel like you have to be a certain way. Do what makes you happy. And don't ever think that you're not enough. In the world we live in today, I think a lot of us constantly struggle with feeling like we aren't enough. We aren't good enough. We aren't successful enough. We aren't smart enough. We're not American enough. We're not Asian enough. It goes on and on and on. But as I look out and see all of you sitting here on graduation day, just know in your heart that you are more than enough. And what you've been through to get here is just one piece of proof that you are incredible. There's an importance now more than ever for you all, for truth-seeking and truth-telling. We all know the power of stories, and history is long-lasting, and now it's up to you. You all determine how we're remembered. You will tell your story and the next chapter of our story. And each piece of you and each piece of that is part of your story. The Virginia story, the American story, the Asian American story. Tomorrow's world is yours to build. So congrats, guys. You did it. You did it.
Okay, graduates, now is the time. Is this on? Now is the time for the presentation of the stoles. And Audrey Emiko Short is going to come up and talk about these stoles. Audrey is the interim assistant director of VCU Globe.
Thank you very much. It has been a sincere pleasure to get to work with many of you over the years, whether as students in classes, participants in events that you have led at the Peace Center, for example, fellow committee members, singers as part of this beautiful presentation today, and I just want to say it's an honor to be here. Thank you very much, graduates. It has also been a pleasure to work with several of you in designing the stole that we have here. And we'll say that it has been an interesting experience to try to find something that will unite everybody that comes from what we consider the Asian Pacific Islander Desi American terminology that we are using right now. We had thought that we would choose two fundamental colors, which we will see here, teal and bronze, both for their distinctiveness and the way that they complement each other. The bronze in itself, a significant human achievement formed through the mixing of metals, is both strong and stable. It symbolizes support, loyalty, and maturity while evoking qualities of the earth. Teal, also a color of strength, suggests the infinity of the sky and the sea. With connotations of calmness and serenity, teal can also symbolize communication and clarity of thought, as well as revitalization and rejuvenation. With the gradient from bronze to teal and back to bronze, we hope to embrace all of those who ground themselves in the diverse lands, nationalities, and ethnicities of those who identify as Asian Pacific Islander or Desi American. And we wish the graduates serenity in your future voyages while always welcoming you back to your academic home of VCU. Thank you, graduates. I would now like to invite Nohmi Guidarelli to the stage to recognize the graduates.
Thank you. Okay, so the first one, I'll read the name. First, Leah Ann Caltera. Please come to the platform. Thank you. There you go. Next, Alina Noel Allegre. Please come. Congratulations. We'd like to invite Ashita Bala to come to the podium. Congratulations. Next, I would like to invite Jessica Boyd to the podium. Next, Carol Chow, please come to the podium. I would like to invite Francis Aaron Ford to come to the podium. I would like to invite Rahula Saurabh Gafore to come to the podium. Next, Kathleen Abrium, please come to the podium. Next, Anju Machu, please come to the podium. Oh, sorry. Anju Machu, please come to the podium. Ashley Nguyen, please come to the podium. Michelle Pham, please come to the podium. Panjulan, please come to the podium. Paige Panjulan, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Helen Grace Kilon. Antia Kila Wala. Next, Lohari Ramu Jiri. Jessica Ree. Zachariah Shrivale. Fred Tugis.
Dr. Fred!
Dan Chung. Victoria Chung. Congratulations. Hidri Mimi Young. And Alice Ye. Congratulations. That's okay.
Yeah.
Final applause to all our graduates. Congratulations.
For our closing remarks today, they will be given by Frank Cha, who is Assistant Professor and Graduate Teaching Assistant Coordinator in the Department of Focused Inquiry.
Another person talking. Oh no. I will keep this brief. So I want to begin by hoping that the members of the planning committee can come join me on stage for this event. This is a big deal, and I would like for all of us to show our appreciation for the hard work they've done. So if you are part of the planning committee, please join me on stage. That would be great. Again, I want to thank all the members of the Planning Committee, but I want to give a special thanks to the hard work that the co-chairs of this committee put in, Jair Leckie, Audrey Emiko-Short, Paul Yoon, and Christina Marino, and Dr. Kadeva and the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs. This is a remarkable event, and I really appreciate the hard work they put in. So again, I want to keep this brief because I want you all to celebrate. But what a beautiful, remarkable sight. Honestly, I'm almost moved to emotions. I'm not an emotional person, except when it comes to my dog, but this is a beautiful moment, honestly. This ceremony is long overdue, and I'm so excited that it has finally become a reality. Many of the stories centering on API DA communities the past few years elicit a mixture of sadness, fear, and anger. But moments like today, in which we honor and celebrate the remarkable achievements of our graduating students, serve as important wellsprings of inspiration and hope. I am so excited to see what you all will do to continue shaping, challenging, and reimagining what it means to be API DA. We recognize that API DA is very much an imperfect acronym, as it does not acknowledge the prominent and delicate differences among us. However, I think it's important to find and celebrate commonalities. As Vietnamese-American writer Monique Trong, and one of my favorite writers, says, quote, "There are no true boundaries between us, except for deep bodies of water and high mountain ranges. We've long ago figured out how to traverse both. And I, for one, am more than confident that all of you will continue to play a critical role in developing opportunities for solidarity, empowerment, and real meaningful change." So with that, I say congratulations. I cannot talk. Congratulations to you all, and I'm so excited for what you all are going to do in the future.
Thank you, everybody, for attending, and congratulations again to the graduates. So we'd like to welcome invite everyone to please enjoy the space, hang out, take pictures. We got done very quickly. It was a very efficient ceremony. So we have lots of time here, so have fun, and thank you again, everybody, for attending. Thank you.